fishing news is brought to you by Shoreline Insurance, Navionics, Okuma, Yozori, Evinrude, and the Star Island Yacht Club Shark Tournament. The June issue of the Fisherman magazine is on newsstands now. Toby Lipinski has a great read on reducing the mortality of fish by modifying plugs and at the same time increasing their effectiveness. Then Captain Jim Frieda has an informative article on trolling for bluefin tuna. Captain Tom Midolowski reveals his secrets for catching black sea bass. These are just a few of the great articles in the current issue of the Fisherman magazine. The weekend is not looking too bad with light winds throughout the weekend, overcast with a chance of a shower on Sunday. Speaking about Sunday, the biggest spring bass tournament takes place Sunday with a shotgun start at 6 a.m. from the Babylon Village docks. There'll be over $20,000 in prize money, and at the same time raising money for Hospice Care Network's child bereavement program. Miller's Ale House will be there at the dock with free food for all who attend and participate. The captain's meeting is tonight at Miller's Ale House in Deer Park. For more info, visit SuffolkAnglers.com. The Fisherman, Navionics, and Gray Fish Tag Research has teamed up for a landmark striped bass study by tagging bass with radio beacons to learn more about stripers. Check out the video on the Fisherman's YouTube channel or follow the links in this video's description on YouTube. The fishing reports are brought to you by Orca Coolers. If you're in the market for a cooler that holds ice for days, is reasonably priced, and made in the USA, check out Orca Coolers at Marine Mate in Lindenhurst. Now for the reports. Let's check in with Mike Dean from the East End.
Thanks, Tim. I'll just taking a little break from work over here, the Huntington area, and wish I had a resident sticker because I would love to throw a pencil popper right behind me now. Fish between Shinnecock and Moriches stays pretty solid after it got a little slow. Some schoolies up to keeper is as big as 32 inches in the back bays, taking soft plastics. Bass Assassin still working. Bucktails with Kettle Creek Outfitters been working also on the fluke in the back bays. SP Minnows also have been a pretty good ticket. Out in the ocean, there's some bunker around and some nice fish showing up. A little bit east of Shinnecock, Moriches has been pretty lively. Fluke bite is good to steady. For some reason, a little bit better out of Montauk, which is, I'm surprised there's not as much in Shinnecock, but guys are still getting keepers. And the Porgy bite in the Peconic is just awesome right now. Best bet usually blues at sunset and at night, stripers at night, and at first light. They're out there, so get out there and chase after them. Manhattan Cup, June 7th. Registration's still open. Message me on Facebook, manhattanmontauk.com, or visit manhattancup.com to register. This is an awesome tournament. You don't want to miss it. Thanks, Tim. Back to you.
From the South Shore, Captain Al Lorenzetti reported that bass fishing has slowed even though there are tons of big bunker schools, but not many fish are on them. On the fluke front, there's lots of shorts and only a few keepers. The best bet for the weekend would be weakfish from Point O Woods to Kismet. Check out Bobby Highland with the 6-pound weakfish. And another best bet would be to target big bluefish. There are still plenty of them bending rods around the Snake Hill Channel area. Let's see what Brendan Ritigliano has going on at Captory Bait and Tackle and Fuel.
Thanks, Tim. Just wanted to do a quick video for you guys. There's a lot of fish around. That's why I haven't been able to make a video for the last week or so. But there's a bunch of bluefish around. Right here is my buddy Ben with a 20-pounder. Then I can actually show you Ryan with a 9-pounder. Just bluefish everywhere, taking literally anything, but diamond jigs have been great. Clams have been amazing. Some bunker has been working, but it's mostly clam just because of the windstorms that we've been having. There's also bass around. Here's Luke with a 34-pounder. And we also have Brad from the shop with a schoolie from actually the Captory Pier right in front of the shop. So there's plenty of fish around. There's still some blowfish on the Captory Piers. There's a lot of fluke around, mostly shorts, but at least it's constant action, so that's great. And that's really it. So have a nice week, guys, and catch them up.
Now let's check in with Joey Leggio from the West.
Hey, Tim, what's going on? The reports for Deb's Inlet, as you know, the bass have showed up, but they didn't show up in the numbers that we like to see. And what's odd about the bass now, it's a very early bite. So there's a good shot, again, a very large bass. A lot of bass coming in that 40-pound range. but you have to get out like basically by daybreak. A lot of the guys that are getting rewarded with these nice big fish, they're out there, they're leaving the docks 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning, have their lines in the water fishing. It's a short bite. The bass seem to be biting from daybreak, and they start slowing down between 6 and 7 in the morning. This Saturday we had the Memorial Day Bass Shootout out of Bay Park Fishing Station. I believe out of the 96 guys fishing the tournament, only 9 bass were caught. The biggest though was a jumbo at just under 48 pounds. I believe it was 47.9 pounds. That was caught by Matt Roth. Took first place in the tournament. Heard other reports of guys out there fishing again early morning, and then it dies off. And of course you'll get some stragglers, but that majority of the bite is that very, very early bite. Junior was out. He had some nice fish. Him and his buddies went out. He said he left the dock at 5:30 in the morning, got out there. He was back to the dock by 9 a.m. and he had fish of, I believe, like 43 pounds. I'll send you the picture. I forget the exact weights. It was either 44, 31, and I think 29 pounds. He sent me over a photo to send over to you. I had out Jim Ryan and his 3 boys. We got out a little late. He met me at his boat at 7:30 in the morning. Figured we had the lines in by 8. We did get one fish right away, which was about 18, 19 pounds, trolled a little longer, and then the boys were rewarded with a nice 35-pounder, taking on the bunker spoons, trolling wire. Other than that, that's really it. Offshore scene, I know down at the shop there's a lot of talk with the bluefin bite that's going on. There was a huge bite, it seemed like, off the chicken and off the triple wreck area, and now I'm hearing some rumors, again, this is, secondhand coming in, that there's some tuna approximately 10 miles off the beach and off of Jersey. So that's pretty cool for all you offshore guys, something to do now, get those pelagics in. And supposedly the tuna have been ranging from 40 to 400 pounds. So pretty cool stuff going out there. Also, if you guys haven't checked it out, I just put out a codfish video showing how to fillet the codfish and pull out those pesky little worms that make these codfish undesirable. But, check out my video. Maybe, Tim, you could pop a link up top somewhere over there, and the guys could check it out and see. These fish are awesome eating fish, and you just got to get those little worms out. You can pick them out, but check out the video. Tell me what you think, and hopefully Timmy, you and I can get out together when they do some filming too. I'll talk to you later, brother. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Luke Feeney is here giving his report from Sheepshead Bay.
To start, the bass have been all over back in Raritan Bay. I've been finding them back by Old Orchard Lighthouse, at the mouth of Sandy Hook Bay, up in the deeper water by West Bank Light, and behind Swinburne and Hoffman Islands. I've been looking at the marine chart, and any holes, contours, edges, that seems to be where the bait is congregating, and that seems to be where the fish are hanging as well. But there's been a ton of bunker in the bay. Your fish finder's almost blowing up reading all these bunker. The birds are all over them, so if you go back there, just look for the birds. You have a pretty good shot and find some fish. The key has been the Mojos for a lot of people. The smaller weight ones seem to be the key for that shallower Raritan Bay water. But the key is to get those Mojos nice and tight to the bottom, 5 feet or less from the bottom. Seems to be where the bigger fish are hanging. A lot of boats are chunking too. They're setting up on those good readings and throwing bunker chunks back at them. Surface plugs are working too. Tons of people are throwing surface plugs and smaller soft plastics on those birds, catching a bunch of smaller fish. And back by me in Jamaica Bay, people have been already catching smaller fish on the fly back by the airport along that rock wall. They've been throwing flies and smaller surface plugs for the smaller fish. And the live bunker bite back there should get really good within the coming weeks. As far as flounder go by me, not many people are trying. With only a limited 2 fish, not many people are really motivated to go out. But those that have gone out have reported some pretty good results. Anywhere from Coney Island flats, any mussel beds really that you can find if you set up with nice fresh mussels.
What a report we have from Mike Century from Staten Island.
Going into June, it's going to be phenomenal striped bass season. The big girls from the Chesapeake Bay post spawn headed up the New Jersey coast, up towards Fire Island, up to Massachusetts. That's going to be a good strategy there, trolling and lifelining with bunker. Talking about bunker, Raritan Bay's loaded with bunker. Also some humpback whales feeding on them. Quite a few videos out there of them doing this. Sea bass, guys been putting a beating on the sea bass, on clams off of the Sandy Hook coast, fishing them wrecks. Gator blues, my goodness, one of my good friends, Guy, 19-pounder I believe he caught the other day. Joe Goliath, another guy, good friend of mine, 54-pound striped bass. Here's quite a few pictures of him holding his prized possession here. Fish of a lifetime. Get out there, guys. Now's the time. Don't hesitate. Put in the time. You will be rewarded. You got to put in the time. These guys have. The question is, are you going to do it this year? So, tight line, guys. Get out there. Have fun. Peace out.
Raul Ortiz, the urban angler, hit his favorite spot on Staten Island before dawn, landed this 15-pound bass on a chunk during the ebbing tide. He said the fishing was still hot and also plenty of schoolies in the mix. Now let's check in from the North Shore with Hawaiian Dan.
Thanks, Tim. All right, Strong Islanders, let's get it. Aloha! From Long Island's very own Hawaiian Dan of TalkFishTV.com, reporting off the central North Shore of Long Island, and this week, I'm going to let the action clips speak for themselves. So cue clips.
Let's check in now with Peter Tornowski.
Thanks, Tim. Still hitting the bays in the Northport area where schoolie bass have been pretty easy to come by. With the warmer weather, I've actually been hitting on some fluke as well. And so that was a little bit of a surprise this weekend, especially in the areas where I was fishing. The schoolies were so thick that I'm telling you, I felt like Babe Ruth out there. I was pointing and picking my spots and catching right off from everywhere I was aiming.
Let's go get that guy. Oh, there he is.
Everything was on small bucktails or small swim shad. Thanks. Back to you, Tim.
Let's check in with senior editor Fred Golofaro with the Surf Report.
Hey, thanks, Tim. Yeah, some good news with bluefish. They seem to be everywhere now. We were concerned that the spring run might not really come to fruition. Well, they're in all the inlets, all the bays down the South Shore. Did have the first report of decent action up on the North Shore. That was up at Rocky Point on the weekend. And the blues down the South Shore and all the way to Montauk, for that matter. Montauk has a lot of blues now. Some big ones mixed into the teens, and also some small fish down to 2, 3, 4 pounds. But there are plenty of them. Yeah, a lot of the usual places too along that stretch, like the construction dock at Jones Beach. That happened to be very good on Monday morning. Had a couple of reports from there. Smith Point Bridge was alive Sunday morning. Had a couple of reports from there also. Both Moriches and Shinnecock inlets on the jetties. There's been good action with blues. Demo has had them. I know the Robert Moses piers, they were in there pushing on bunker earlier on the weekend. So great for bending rods and a lot of fun on top waters if you can catch them on top waters. Moriches and Shinnecock inlets both starting to hear of some better bass in those places at night, and fish like up into the 20-pound class. Not a lot of them, but there are some that are being picked. Also had a report of a 41-pounder from Long Island Outdoors. That fish was caught on a snag bunker west of Jones Inlet. Moriches Inlet, I was getting reports of some guys got stopped by rangers saying that they weren't supposed to be on the beach at night. I called Suffolk County Parks yesterday. I asked about that. They said the beach is open to cut to. Fishermen only can access the inlet from through Burma Road from cut to. So I asked twice, is that nights also? Is it 24/7? I was told yes. So at this point, I'm going to say that it's safe to go down there, and we do have access to the inlet until we hear otherwise. I spoke about weakfish last week, all the weakfish, especially in Great South Bay. They're still there. Kirk Fay, who writes for us, he hammered them again, actually on Tuesday, had a load of them in the morning and again in the afternoon. So there's plenty of fish in the bay. If you're looking to catch weakfish, I'd really suggest you give that stretch along South Beach, from the Coast Guard station to the lighthouse, even to Kismet, the stretch in between. Give that a shot. You can wade out on that sandbar, on that shelf that runs off that beach to the north. You want to get within casting range of the deep water of the channel, and you can push off pretty far in some of those areas. If you can find a rip that you can access from that shoreline, the more the better. Lead heads, bucktails with jelly worms, gulp, or soft plastics, your favorite soft plastic, or swimming plugs. But I would give that a shot and expect to see some bass mixed in there also. This weekend, Saturday and Sunday, is the Libba Catch and Release surf tournament. It's at Gilgo Beach State Park. Runs from 8 o'clock Saturday morning till noon on Sunday. There's a barbecue and awards 12:30 Sunday on the beach. Now you must be a Libba member to participate in that, and your dues must be paid up if you are a member. You can do that at registration Saturday morning. You can also join and become a member that morning. So consider that. Should be fun. If you're looking for dates for the classics this year, the Montauk Classic is September 20th to the 22nd. The South Shore is October 25th to the 27th, and that's being run in conjunction with the Babylon Surf Cup this year. That should be a lot of fun. Until next week, Fred Golofaro here for thefisherman.com.
Our fly fishing report comes from Paul McCain from River Bay Outfitters.
Hello, Tim. The shrimp hatch has been really good back in the back bays, just really kick it into high gear. And the way to fish that is go out there, high tide, drop in high tide, low light. And my fly of choice is the Jack Garside's Gurgler. That's the fly I use. Now, what's really stealing the show is all the bluefish that are running the inlet. But they're out there very good, but don't take more than you really need. On the freshwater scene, Kenny the Hat and the carp whisperer Fred have been going out and fishing these little ponds, these local ponds that are closer to mud puddles. And they're using Freddy's bread fly. There are always fish to be caught. And it's been a really good year so far for carp. So anyway, get out there and try it. Enjoy it. Tight lines, everybody.
On the offshore scene, Captain Tony Gatto reported the waters south of the island in 20 to 30 fathoms have been warming up nicely, just in time for the offshore fishing scene. There's been a decent bluefin bite going on from Delaware to New Jersey, mostly in the water warmers near Tom's Canyon. Taylor Cook was on Captain George Fontana's Ella Marie for an early season run. They landed a 59-inch, 100-pound bluefin. The big news is that the whales and the bait have started to settle into their usual spots south of the island. There's also been a handful of bluefin in the mix, like this one from Teddy Prager. Next week, the offshore reports will be in the weekly edition, so look out for that. Upcoming events, June 1st through the 2nd, is the Long Island Beach Buggy Association Surf Fishing Tournament. And that's at Gilgo Beach. You can go to libba.com for more info. June 2nd is the big Suffolk Marine Angler Striped Bass Tournament out of Babylon Village. Tonight is the captain's meeting at Miller's Ale House in Deer Park. Check out suffolkanglers.com for more information. And June 7th, we have the Manhattan Cup out of Liberty Landing Marina in New Jersey. Then June 8th is the Point Lookout Shark Tournament. If you'd like to be part of our weekly video fishing forecast, we're looking for social media savvy anglers for hyperlocal reporting from around the New York Metro and Long Island area. So if you're a captain, tackle shop, or just an avid angler, contact me at libayrat@gmail.com. For links and more information, be sure to check out this video's description on YouTube. Remember, like our video, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and tap on the bell to be notified instantly when we post a new video on YouTube. And of course, be a subscriber to the Fisherman magazine to be part of the Dreamboat contest. Get out there and enjoy the upcoming weekend weather. This is Tim C. Smith for thefisherman.com. Win the incredible Steigercraft Evinrude Lowrance Grand Prize Boat Package and more in the Fisherman's 2019 Dreamboat Fishing Challenge. Get the details now at thefisherman.com.